Welcome back to the Renegade Report. I'm Francis Mayer, Sports Information Director for the greatest athletic department in the known universe. I said it. It's Bakersfield College, home of the Renegades, where apparently I talked to a person in the uniform business recently, and they told me that our official red is actually scarlet. But my guest here says otherwise. What color is it? Get close to the microphone like you're making a new friend.
I'm making a new friend.
Yes.
It's Renegade Red.
Thank you. Yes. And what is your name?
My name is Julie Sanders.
But Miss Sanders, you had a maiden name, didn't you?
Once upon a time I did.
What was it?
Bowser.
Bowser. And if you are a tried and true Renegade football fan, that name will not be strange to you, will
That is
it?
correct. I would hope not.
No, but your father, what did he do for BC?
Coach Bowser was a
You call him
football
Coach Bowser too?
Well, no, but most people may know him as Coach.
And should call him Coach Bowser. I feel like a
Uh-huh.
lot of young people get too casual with coaches now. I never would have dreamed of calling my coach by their first name.
Yeah, most people still call him Coach.
Okay.
And
Well,
every
he
coach
earned
I
it.
know, I still call Coach.
And there you heard it. So we're going to have you on for a weekly manners lesson. But he was your father.
He is my father, yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. He is, of course. Yes, he isn't the coach now, and was your father. He will always be your father.
He will always be my father.
And so you grew up around the years that built the tradition that we enjoy now.
I did. Yeah.
And what was that like? Were you exposed to football a lot when you were little?
Oh, absolutely. It was all about football when we were little. During the season, most definitely. Late nights, 7 days a week. I remember him coming home, watching film in the living room. The machine, remember the old, I don't recall the name of them really, the projectors.
Yeah.
So I remember sitting in there as a kid, going in and out, just watching him clicking the button back and forth, watching a play over and over again. So
would you sit in
I
there
have
and
vivid
watch?
memories of that. Well, sure. Why not?
And would he
You're a
explain
kid.
it to you? That's a tight end flair.
No,
right there.
we weren't. No
talking.
No talking. Don't bother me. You can come and do whatever you want to do, but no talking.
Right. And did he take you up to the college? Like, what if there was no sitter or your mother was away? How did that work?
Sure. Well, yeah, we would go hang out up there in the, either in the locker room, or if he was up in his office, we would go down the hall to the room where all of the dances, the gymnastics, all that jazz. So there was trampolines and pommel horses and, whatever's always in a gymnastic room, we would run around and play in the gymnastic room. It was fun.
That had to be a good way to grow up.
It was an awesome way to grow up. I don't know at the time, though, that I understood that. And
I was going to ask you that. Were you cognizant of the fact that your dad coached a game for a living versus other people's parents didn't do that?
No, not until later in life when I started to understand it, maybe respect it a little bit more, appreciate it a little bit more.
The scope of his importance to the community.
Exactly.
And what it meant.
Yeah.
And what do you think Renegade football meant to people when you were growing up?
It was Kern County. It's what Kern County was built on. It's what Bakersfield was built on. It was what everybody did on Saturday afternoon. 2-3 years ago when we had the state championship, that stadium was full to the gills, right? It was practically sold out. It was amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
That's what it was every single week when I was a kid. It was always full. You always had 12 to 15,000 people in that stadium every single Saturday.
And Bakersfield definitely has a cycle of boom and bust over a long arc because of the commodities, because oil is a commodity, right? And those men, they got together and decided that our town deserves something a little bit better because BC is more than a little bit better. Most communities of our size don't have an institution with the athletic legacy or the educational range that BC has.
That's true.
Right, and your dad and Coach Collis and other people were responsible for building that up, I think, right?
Definitely. I think absolutely they were.
Right, because you look very young, and the campus was built in 1950, but you had to be younger when it was still becoming and growing into what it is now.
The football stadium and all of the facilities related to football, which is what I know, right? That's what I know.
Right.
That was there when I, was a young kid. We moved from Shafter, where my dad was coaching at Shafter High School. I started kindergarten in Bakersfield. So by the time I was 5, we were here and he was starting at BC. And that campus or the stadium and the Cleroux Field House and I just don't ever remember being it any different than it is today.
Right. And it's funny because those are more than names on a building to you, obviously.
Absolutely.
Collis Field,
the
Cleroux
Cleroux Field House.
House.
Doc Cleroux delivered my brother Larry, who was born here in Bakersfield.
And Dr. Cleroux, for those of you who don't know, first of all, my heart weeps for you, but Dr. Cleroux practiced medicine into his 90s.
He did.
And a lot of people from your class, I should say, went to him for flus and physicals and every other thing, right?
Forever.
He was the doc.
The doc. He was. And my dad believed he was the best doc in town. Between he and Tivnon and Dr. Baker, I don't know that there is anyone else.
I don't think
those are his peeps.
Right. Yeah. I remember Coach Collis saying once, they were like, someone was asking him, a younger person, well, do you have a regular physician? And he looked at him like, well, yeah. I mean, when I don't feel well, I go see Romaine.
I just go see Romaine. I go to the back door. I didn't even check in at the front door. He would just walk in the back door with us or my mother for that matter, when we were young. That's
right. And
who took care of us.
This cast of characters, you could make a film out of it, right?
It would be an interesting film, sure.
Sure it would, but I mean, these guys got together and they built this huge program that's BC Athletics, but it was a really pretty eclectic cast of characters, wasn't it?
Oh, very eclectic. You've got Dwayne Dameron, who is just big and burly and loud and
good with a laugh.
Good with a laugh. Scared me when I was a kid, but I love him to death.
Right.
And Walt Johnson and, Harville Pollard, my dad, Collis. It just, Collis is larger than life. You kind of wonder how it would all work today if he was the coach.
Yeah.
I don't know, but he was an amazing guy and just full of life, and he's so special to us.
Right, and I think like personally, you definitely, I don't know how to put it, but there's a certain reverence to everything you do that affects the direction of the program because you realize how much those guys did, and you feel like
sure.
Wow, like I don't know if I should be driving a Ferrari, like.
Well, there's so much history there and so much tradition and so many student athletes that went through the program that today look back and say, really, that their experience there and the things they learned from those coaches made them the men they are today. And
absolutely.
So they learned life skills from my dad and from Coach Collis that it wasn't just about what happened on the field. I mean, that was incredibly important, winning a football game. Nobody's going to ever tell me that that's not the number one goal when you're out there. But aside from that, the life skills and the passion that those men brought to the field for all of those boys at the time, teenagers, young men.
Oh, man.
They're, so many of them are successful business people locally, nationally. And I think part of their success is due to what they learned at BC, not only in the classroom, but on the field.
I'm certain of it. I don't think everybody is and it has been my experience that not everyone is as generous with their time and experience as people like Coach Stubbe were and Coach Collis were. Those are the two that I can speak to because I didn't deal with them as an athlete, but I dealt with them later on.
Right.
And I remember specifically very simple things that both of them told me, once in disappointment, and it has stuck with me. I'm almost 40, right? And I remember him expressing disappointment and explaining to me that wasn't becoming, and this is how you should do it. And it was very simple. It didn't come from a position of superiority. I don't know how to explain it, but it stuck with me.
I think my boys at some point had that experience with Coach Collis. I'm sure that they may have walked into a building with a hat on their head, and he would immediately tell you in no uncertain terms, very colorful
yes.
terms, not to be repeated on air.
Yes.
what they should do with their hat when they walked in a building, because that's what a gentleman does. So that's what I mean when I say they taught them so much more than football skills.
Expecting more of yourself, right?
Right.
And expecting yourself to behave a little better, and expect a little more when you're wearing the colors of the school. No doubt about it. They were loyal, and definitely something, and remain loyal, and it's something to live up to. And I appreciate you coming on and sharing those stories. I'd love to have you on again. Real quick, tell us how you continue to support Renegade Athletics. Your employer is?
Well, my employer, Wes Bradford, is a passionate Renegade fan.
Amazing
of course.
Renegade
Amazing
fan.
Supporter of the college and all of the athletic programs up there. Primarily, though, really his passion is football and baseball.
Of course.
We all know that,
Sure.
and that's okay.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. Football is my passion. It's what drives what we do, in addition to golf. But still, football is a major priority. And to that end, we're the Clifford and Bradford Athletic Foundation and Jeff Chudy and Wes, we're all working together right now to raise funds in the community to rebuild the training center.
Who was the third person you mentioned?
Jeff Chudy.
Don't know.
Coach Jeff Chudy. You
Oh,
don't know
Coach
him. Yes,
Chudy.
you
Oh, I'm
do.
sorry. I didn't know anyone by the name Jeff Chudy, but when
Coach
Chudy,
Coach,
now
head
I understand.
Head coach
But they are
Chudy.
endeavoring to do something pretty special.
Absolutely. He is trying to take the program to the next level and be able to provide a world-class facility, not only out on the field, but in the training room, which we all know today is critical to the success of athletes. If you do not have the training facilities for these men and women, you are not going to have the level of success you want out on the playing field. You just can't.
It is part of the modern game. Julie, we are running out of time right now, and I regret it because I'd love to speak with you more. If you can come on next week, I want to hear more about the weight room.
Okay.
I will call you. All right?
Okay.
Julie, thank you so much for being on. Julie Nee Bowser, the daughter of Renegade great Coach Bowser. She was a lot of fun to have on, and next time she comes on, she's going to tell us more about the world-class weight training facility that we will hopefully soon have up at Bakersfield College. But next, we're going to check in with a member of the BC Cheer Squad, and we're going to find out why this football season is going to look a little bit different than the last one. Don't go anywhere. There's more Renegade Report coming right up.